Hey guys, I'm making this video and I don't know why it didn't occur to me before, and I'm doing it because I've noticed how many people have been asking me this very same thing. How have I learned to cope with the news of having multiple sclerosis? So when I received the news back in November 2013, it was a dark and rainy day in Denmark, and I was lost in some suburban hospital in the outskirts of Copenhagen, and I was lost. Not only geographically, but also psychologically and emotionally lost. I didn't know what I was up to in my life, and I was very stressed because I was working as hard as I could to achieve something, complete my first achievement in my life. So I was overworked, tired, and unconsciously all I was hoping for was to get a good reason to rest, to have some time off. So when I went to the hospital and started the whole process of getting diagnosed, I felt such an immense relief when I lied down on the bed in the hospital. And I thought, finally, I can let go and I can let myself be taken care of. So when I heard the news, even though I was worried in this hospital bed, when I heard the news of it being multiple sclerosis, nowadays with all these online resources, of course I'd been on Google and checked what double vision could be caused by. Multiple sclerosis was one of them, and it was absolutely one of the most favorable candidates. So when I heard the news of multiple sclerosis, I was actually relieved at first. It took about 4 or 5 days for me to actually realize what had just happened and the huge change that had just taken place in my life. And then the pessimism sank in, and I started telling people that I don't know what my life would be like, and I had a very dark outlook on my future. I pretty much saw myself ending up in a wheelchair. Yeah, I didn't see how any of my dreams could be achieved from then on. I gave up on all my career ambitions. I continued doing what I was doing, but with a lack of enthusiasm, just because I didn't believe that any of this would come to fruition at any point in my life. I only saw a downward curve in my health. Then with time, and especially this was connected to my switching from the injections, which left me bedridden for 2 days a week, to switching to a more palatable monthly treatment, I slowly started to regain a sense of empowerment over my own life. I decided to go all in and to live my life today, not leave to tomorrow what could be done today. So I went crazy, and I think that was a moment of catharsis. I partied a lot, I drank a lot, but I had fun. I enjoyed my life as it was. And still always having this voice at the back of my head telling me that enjoy it while you can, because this could be the last time. Which, of course, it has a very pessimistic shadow. But in itself, that thought is a beautiful thing to have, that anyone can learn something from. So then I started shifting my outlook and took that learning from the carpe diem mentality and started to incorporate it into a more sustainable way of life, in which I sort of committed to enjoying life on a long-term basis. And I started to take control over my health as much as I could. I became a little bit of a control freak over my health habits, gymming habits, nutritional habits. And I tried to track everything that I did, which is something that gave me some sort of a feeling of control over my health, having been diagnosed with a completely unpredictable disease. This was something that made me feel like I was in control despite everything. But then again, with time, this evolved as well. I learned a lot about how to be healthy, what to do in order to stay healthy. But I started to notice that this wasn't sustainable either, because I went completely neurotic, obsessive about being a healthy person. And it wasn't an enjoyable life, to be honest. Even though I felt healthy, there was always this consciousness of being healthy despite having a chronic condition. So I was constantly aware of the multiple sclerosis looming over me. And this made for an increased awareness over my symptoms, if you know what I mean. They say that the healthiest MS patients are the ones who don't think about it as much. And even though I thought I had it under control with my healthy life, I didn't really, because I was thinking so much about it the whole time. So I reached a point of just being exhausted by all this obsessive compulsive behavior. And I little by little started to let go of wanting to control, wanting to follow a discipline, wanting to follow a particular diet. And this led me to where I am today, which is, despite having always been sort of optimistic, I am now optimistic with a relaxed state of mind. And this is the healthiest that I have ever felt since diagnosis. There are downfalls, of course, there are moments of weakness, but ultimately, what I have learned through the years, which is my conclusion pretty much, is that I have learned to let go. And this is what I believe will and should happen to most patients. And I can comfort you with the fact that if you're newly diagnosed, I can tell you that you're going to learn from it. And it's not all bad, because what have I learned since diagnosis? I have learned how to stay healthy. I dedicated insane amounts of time to reading how to lead a healthy lifestyle, how to train, how to keep my hormone levels balanced, all the things that I had to do to keep my condition under control. And then it has also taught me, through this extremism, it also taught me to relax, because I just had to. I couldn't keep on going like this. So to the newly diagnosed people out there, I can tell you that it's gonna be a journey. It's gonna be difficult, but you're gonna grow stronger. You're gonna learn in one way or another something about yourself, something about your body. And I'm sure that you're gonna surprise yourself with how strong you are. I went from being someone who was just screaming for help and screaming for attention, and for someone to give him the opportunity to let go and be taken care of, to being someone who's learned to take matters into his own hands and to be in control of his life as much as he could. So there you go. Newly diagnosed people, stay strong, stay optimistic. It's gonna get better, I assure you of that. Stay well, and I will see you soon again with another video. Bye bye, guys.